nothing ever changes. You know, they won't beat themselves. They hadn't done it in 20 years, so you have to execute, and you got to actually beat them. You know, because they're not going to beat themselves. And you know, I thought we had a good run in there at the, you know, that when we made up the 14 points, but you know, you just got to keep playing against this team. You know, they just do such a great job. Thought LaMarcus played well, and I thought DeJounte Murray played well, and you know, they just keep coming at you, and you know, they're as good as anybody in the league is executing what they're trying to do, getting the ball to the right people in the right situation. So I was happy. We just had a struggle. You know, they took us out of the rhythm that we've had, you know, over the last, you know, 2 or 3 weeks. They took that away from us. They did a lot of switching, which bothered us some, and we just didn't shoot the ball well. You know, partially them, partially we just didn't shoot it well.
What did you think about the burst from Zion there in the fourth quarter, especially considering the way he started?
Like I said, it was going to be a learning experience either way. If he played well, if he didn't play well, I think the big thing is that he was much more aggressive during that situation. And we had talked at halftime about, you know, I thought he was just deferring way too much, and I wanted him to be aggressive, and I knew that he would make some mistakes, but you know, I think what you saw there is a taste of what, you know, once we really get settled in and he gets settled in, I think you can see that there's a lot of things that we can do with him, and there's a lot of potential there. So it was good to see him do that. But, you know, I just think there's a really, really high ceiling, you know, that he can reach, you know, that he can reach it. So we'll just continue on, you know, and we'll continue to practice. And anybody have any questions, I'll answer them. And no, he couldn't go back in the game. Okay, so that don't go there. All right. Just because the medical people said that was it. So.
What was just the conversation like with them when, you know, you had it rolling and you just had to let him know, like, hey, that's it?
He wasn't happy about it. I don't think anybody would be happy about it if you were playing at the level that he was playing at, and all of a sudden you had to come out of the game. You know, I ain't the brightest coach in the world, but I wasn't going to take him out in those situations unless I was told to. So.
How hard is that for you as a coach to kind of have to balance those two, his future versus taking players?
Well, I think you got to be smart about it. You know, I mean, I'm pretty sure Sean wouldn't take Drew Brees out in that situation. Okay, but I think we've got to be smart about it. I think we understand that we have to look long term and not, you know, one game, short term, put him out there and play him extended minutes. You know, so we were not going to do that in any situation. So I think he made his point, and I think he'll continue to get better, but we can't sacrifice his whole future for one short-term thing.
As a fan of basketball, just what was it like, though, to watch that stretch of him just in the crowd and everything around it just kind of exploding at one time?
Well, I think you'll see that. I think you'll see that in him some, and you know, like I said, it's his first NBA game, but I think the second time he went out there, or well, actually the third time he went out there, excuse me, I just thought that he was much more comfortable, and I thought he was much more aggressive. He found out that everybody makes mistakes, and he just continued to play through them. And, you know, I think for him it's just a relief to have one game under his belt, and now, you know, all of this goes away. You know, the first game, and now I think he can just play and you know, get himself in a situation where he can continue to learn and continue to grow. Looked pretty natural to me, you know, and he said he felt great. So, you know, all of those things are positive, as I said. You know, I think the test will be in the morning, you know, when he comes in, how will he feel? And, you know, I there's no reason for me not to believe that he'll be fine.
Coach, we had gotten used to Brandon being the closer over the last few weeks. It seemed like he kind of struggled to get off early and then late as well. Was it the defense that presented problems for him tonight?
No, I thought he got, that's the one thing we talked about. I thought he got to where he wanted to get to. I thought he got good shots. It was one of those nights where, they just weren't going in. I didn't think that, it was bad shots that he took, not necessarily, and I didn't think that they were locked in defensively. I just thought that he got to his spots, and they just weren't going in tonight.
Yeah, what have the medical people told you as far as how long this minutes restriction plan will be?
Well, we don't have, we don't say on January 29th everything will be lifted. It'll be a game-by-game situation, and I think, when they evaluate him the next day, that'll have a lot to do with where we go from there.
Was it surprising at all to see Pop throw double teams at him almost immediately to start the game? And what does that kind of say about the type of player he is, that he gets that attention game one?
Was I surprised? Nope. I work for Pop, so yeah. I just think that they didn't want to let him get going and didn't want him to just feel relaxed. So they ran guys at him, and I think he handled it great. Like I said, he had a couple of plays that where he lost the ball that he's not going to lose the ball on those particular plays. So that didn't bother me at all. I like the aggressiveness he played with during that stretch, and I think he's just going to get better and better in those situations. And I like the fact that, passing the basketball, he can find guys, And what we really want to see him do more of now is that we want to see him, when he rebounds the ball, push it in the break and be, the facilitator in those situations also. But, you're going to not get all of that in the first night he plays, but, we have something that we can look at and we can grow from now.
Alvin, you've been in the league a long time. You've seen a lot of players over here. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How do you explain what we just saw, a guy that kind of is just going through the first three quarters and then can just erupt like that in the moment with all the expectations that are on his shoulders?
Well, we spent a lot of time talking about, listen, at the end of the day, it's game 43 or 45 or whatever it is, game 45 for us. That's all it is, really. We can talk about anything, but it's the 45th regular season game we play, and we wanted to approach it that way, and we wanted him to approach it that way, that, we're playing a very good San Antonio team, regardless of what their record is, that won't beat themselves, and that it would be good to play against a team like this because, they're going to make you execute and they're going to make you beat them. And so that's the way he went into the game, As I said, I think at the start of the game, he was deferring, which is kind of natural, and our guys was kind of deferring back to him, so we really never got into any kind of flow or rhythm, but, all of that will come, and I think we'll be fine.
You mentioned the flow and the rhythm. Do you think it'll be him finding the flow and the rhythm of what you all have been able to sustain the last few weeks, or will it be the rest of the team kind of adjusting to him?
No, I think it'll be a little bit both ways, and I'm not trying to walk the fence, but, there are some things that he can do that we'll have to add to our offense, and, there's also some things that he'll adjust to. So he's a really bright basketball player and a good kid, and he's all about the team. So I don't see it being a problem at all of us figuring out as coaches, what to do with him and how to integrate him into what we're doing, as well as adding some things that will benefit us that he can do. So I thought it was, it's a night that, he's shown that he's got explosiveness in some of the things that he can do, and, we'll go on from there.
Alvin, what was Zion like at halftime, and what was sort of his demeanor at halftime?
As it always is, really. I mean, it wasn't like he was down or anything like that. The only thing we did is that he and I talked a little bit before he went back out there, and I told him that, you know, I want him to be more aggressive, and I want him to enjoy the moment. You know, don't take this lightly. I mean, it's a great moment for you. It's what you've worked for your whole life, is to be able to walk out and play in an NBA game. So enjoy that moment, not to worry about it. And, you know, we're going to be fine as a team, and he's going to be fine as a player.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.